Newly formed Tropical Storm Karen threatening the panhandle of Florida this weekend. I'm tracking the very latest on the developments with Karen and the potential impacts to us here in the Sunshine State. And for you football fans, whether or not this is going to interrupt some of those games, we've got home games in Tallahassee and in Gainesville. Well, Karen blew up overnight Wednesday into Thursday. The thunderstorms just exploded near and just east of the center, but it was very obvious by later in the day on Thursday that the system was being impacted by some drier air. Notice all the brighter cloud tops are now on the eastern side of the circulation center. I'm going to switch sources here to the water vapor loop. The brown is the dry air, and it was getting ingested into the system. There was also some wind shear, some faster winds aloft, blowing those thunderstorm tops away from that center of circulation. But we still have a formidable tropical storm on our hands, and it's still expected to be at least a tropical storm when it comes ashore this weekend. There's the official forecast path from the Hurricane Center. Follow us on Twitter for the very updated path. They come out every so many hours, and we'll keep you updated should this cone of uncertainty move just a bit to the west or the east. It has been shifted just a bit to the west during the day on Thursday, but overall we're still expecting the biggest impact to be in the panhandle, and at that, the western side of the panhandle. There are the potential storm tracks, and there's still some disagreement here. I'm trying to keep this simple for you. I still think there are two schools of thought. Scenario number one is that the system moves a little slower and is pulled closer to this cold front. This is Sunday p.m. right around New Orleans is where the system could be if scenario number one plays out. This is a weaker solution because the front really starts to rip it apart. But then, check it out, it shoots east toward the panhandle Monday and Monday night. Scenario number two is if the system continues to move to the north and then starts to move northeast at a much faster pace, the front really doesn't catch up to it, so it stays stronger and it moves a little closer to us here in the panhandle of Florida. That would be obviously a more impactful scenario. And we're going to still watch this closely. It's a little too early to tell if it's going to take path number one or path number two. Either way, there will be impact in the panhandle. What about the intensity? Well, it's likely to strengthen just a bit more between now and maybe Friday night or Saturday. And then that's when you see the models tailing off on the intensity before landfall. But a few of these lines do surpass the hurricane threshold late Friday night or early Saturday morning. Obviously, it's struggling now, but I still think it has an opportunity to briefly strengthen. This is the future track built off of the GFS, and it shows that slowing of the system south of New Orleans, and then it starts to move in our direction, but not until Sunday or Sunday night. We'll see how the timing on this plays out. Big question marks still remain as to what happens with Tropical Storm Karen. All residents from New Orleans to the Big Bend of Florida should stay aware. Residents immediately along the coastline here, though, in the Panhandle, especially west of Panama City, should probably start planning for what to do if a weak hurricane comes ashore over the weekend, and there are hurricane watches in effect from Apalachicola westward toward Pensacola, rounding the bend to just east of New Orleans. I'll keep you updated with the very latest on Tropical Storm Karen. Stay tuned.